them in the pre-season, we've seen them how fast they are, and we've seen how close the competition is, but we've never seen a race in this championship yet. So to get it underway here in 2019 for the first time, it's a big coup for the championship.
The 1000 cc's are later on. Firstly, let's have a look at the Underbone 150 cc's. The Underbones is unique to Southeast Asia. As we have a look at the Sepang circuit for the Underbones, this is a long circuit, and overtaking maneuvers aren't required in Underbone. Sorry, that everyone just assumes an overtaking. But here, you can overtake just about anywhere on the track.
The thing with Underbone racing in a big, massive circuit like this Sepang circuit is that you just do not know what to expect. Pole position means nothing. Super pole means nothing. Whoever qualified in 15th can win the race. Whoever qualified in 30th can win the race. That's the sort of racing that we get here. So much slipstreaming. I know that we were talking about it a little bit before. The smartest guy normally wins here at this circuit because it is so wide. It's 16 metres wide at its widest point. It's 5.4 kilometres long. It really is a place where you have to use your head.
Let's get onto the circuit, and Akid Aziz is the man who will be on pole position for the first of the Underbone races. They lap in around about 233.216. It's only a 5-lap race, but these are long laps. But 233 when you're hunkered down in these racing conditions, because we're close to 60 degrees centigrade on the track. The guys are working pretty hard.
They certainly are. Most of these guys are used to these conditions because obviously they're in and around the region, but nevertheless, when you're out there in your leathers with temperatures like this, 57 degrees on the track at the moment, boy, it can be hot, and you have to keep the fluids up. If you don't keep the fluids up, you know, you're going to get yourself into trouble.
Let's have a lolook at the recap of the Super Pole and how it came. In the 5-4-3-2-1, we'll take it. We're going to have the experienced Ahmed Fazli Sham, 235.479, coming in 5th place, but you can see how hard they have to work. In 4th, Fernando Masato. We've not really seen an awful lot of Masato. Filipino, 32 years of age, but again, lapping at 234. Once we get into the top 3, and we'll move on to LD Satya Mahendra in just a moment. But all these guys are lapping between 233 and 235. The guys are working hard out there.
They certainly are. They certainly are. I mean, qualifying, we run a super pole type system in the 150 class, which means that the guys get out on track on their own and have to cut a lap. They don't have the other Underbone bikes out on track to use the slipstream, so it's basically up to them. So a lot of testing comes into this, and you've really got to put your heart in your mouth and put your money on the line to get that pole position if you go for it here.
There was the man who is on pole. We had a brief look at him on the line. The riders are out just in forming up. Akid Aziz, one of the Malaysian riders. Next to him, we've got the likes of Fernando Masato. We spoke about Masato, 32 years of age, not exactly a rookie coming in, but this will be the peak of his career to be racing on circuits like this.
No, absolutely. I mean, it is for him. It's a great to have him in the championship. Fernando Masato, although, like you say, he is old, he's 32, he's certainly shown what he can do already, so really looking forward to seeing what he can do. But hopefully we get another look also at Aldi Satya Mahendra on number 570, because he is only 13 years old. I want to keep an eye on him out there with the older guys as well.
We do have the real variety here. We had a look at Ahmed Fazli Sham, who's been around AsiaRoadRacing Championship for quite some time. Let's get a closer look at the guys, and I'm looking at that temperature, and it is already going up close to 60 degrees out there. Those umbrellas are much required. Akid Aziz will be on pole, 21-year-old from Malaysia. He was 5th overall in this championship last year, and is a consistent competitor. But now the Filipino riders. This is McKinley Kyle Paz. Looking forward to him on the Yamaha Sniper 150 and part of the UMA Racing Yamaha Philippines team.
Yeah, a new team in this year too, so good to see them. It's great to see him there in the championship full-time this year. He's got a good opportunity to pick up where he left off last year and perhaps be a contender for race wins. He certainly put himself in a good position to do that this time round.
Bike number 570 is Aldi Satya Mahendra, Yamaha Racing Indonesia. Wrapping up nice and warm. Not sure you need to be doing that. The cover is there. He's third on the grid. And then I think we might move on onto the next round. You mentioned briefly Masato, 32 years of age. I mean, the real variety. They've got a 13-year-old and a 32, and a couple of older riders as well. As we move on to bike 17, which is Fernando Masato. Looks like he's enjoying the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's good to see him joining the championship this year. Obviously on the Yamaha machine with that UMA Racing Yamaha Philippines entry as well. You know, I guess the thing that I like about this 150 class is just because you're 32 years old, it doesn't mean it's all over. You can actually have a go, and he's very, very competitive here. Ahmed Fazli Sham, of course, another one on the TKR team. He's definitely one to watch in this race.
A former champion at Underbone 130 in the Malaysian Cup Prix Championship in 2007 and 2008. So he's got the best part of 2 decades riding at this level. Going further down, the Thai competitor Pirapong Lubempong in a time of 2:36.210. They will group up enormously though. That's what we will get, and probably until the last hairpin bend, which is a cracking finale here. Then.
Yeah, absolutely, and I can also see Effendi Rosley in that group there too. Good to see him back out there. Pirapong, hopefully he can get a better year in this year than he had last year. He finished 18th last year, so the thing is, Des, look at the size of that field when you see it from here.
Idemitsu Asia Road Racing Championships, Underbone 150cc, 33 riders on the grid. A new champion is likely to be heralded this season, but the season is about to get underway. This is the formation lap before the mayhem begins.
Yeah, and it's quite a long formation lap as well as they head out now. Just warming everything up, making sure that those slicks, even though the track temperature out there is approaching 60 degrees right now, you really do want to bed the tyres in. They will have gone out on brand new slicks, Dunlop slicks for this start of this 6-lap race. Of course, the slicks only coming in last year, and everybody very, very happy with the extra grip. Lap times and lap records have been smashed, but I'll tell you what, this year the racing has stepped up another level, Des, and we're going to see these guys really performing well at this Sepang circuit. Of course, we weren't here last year. It's great to be back in Malaysia as well.
It's a long season, 14 races long. We'll be following the fortunes of all of these riders right the way through until Chang in late November, early December. Let's see if we can have a look at the grids, just so we can pick out some important names and numbers for you. On the pole, we mentioned Akid Aziz.
Yeah, and there's the whole bunch of guys there. The other interesting stat is there's at least 12 to 13 new riders in the championship this year.
I'd like to point out number 60, who's starting 11th on the grid, Wayu Aji Trilaksana, and number 23 on 14th row on the grid, Gupita Krishna, 2 former champions at Underbone 150 level. New riders, old riders, experienced riders. Experience particularly on a circuit like this, where you're saying the smarts is what sometimes is the most important element. That may well be the key here.
Well, absolutely, because if you're a tenth quicker around a corner here and risking everything, it's not worth it sometimes. It's better to just stay within yourself and stay in the group, but be in the right place in the last couple of laps. You do not want to be probably leading on to the second last straight. We'll see it all throughout that lap. There's big overtaking opportunities everywhere on this circuit, but when it comes to that last lap into the final hairpin corner, turn 15, boy, there's going to be action aplenty. You want to put yourself in the right position. As you head down this back straight we're looking at now, there'll be a lot of jostling going on, because that's heading into that final corner, and we're going to see mayhem.
A phenomenal amount of overtaking, because as they come down here, there's then a sharp right hairpin, which will be a terrific to watch, and then that leads us into the long closing straight as well.
The other good thing about this circuit, there's no real right line, Des, because it's so wide. You can go into that final hairpin or most of the corners from any different angles. So if you've got a little bit of extra speed, you can shoot up the inside of people, around the outside, and that is what makes it so exciting.
33 riders. It is a lot of riders to work our way through. Key names, let's again, 13, Akid Aziz is on pole. McKinley Kyle Paz, bike 123 is next to him. Ahmed Fazli Sham, bike 46 in the green livery. He's 5th on the grid. Wayu Nagroho on 8th. Wayu Aji on 11th, bike 60, Gupita Krishna. Further down, familiar names for those of you who follow the Underbones. You've got Amrul Arif Musa, Izzat Zaidi. So many names that we're used to seeing in and around, and opportunities, because Helmi Azman, the defending champion, will not be defending his title because he's moved up to the Supersport 600.
Absolutely. So there's definitely a new champion going to be crowned, hopefully this year. Hopefully a young guy, who knows?
Asia Road Racing Championship brought to you by Idemitsu, about to get underway. The Underbone 150cc, round 1 of 14 for the season. Getting off to a good start is always a good way to start it. The red lights go on. Now they are off and we are underway, and it's Akid Aziz who's got off to a healthy start. McKinley Kyle Paz with a slight wheelie. He has a look behind him, and the riders, well, try to make some kind of sense of this wide track. It will be indeed McKinley Kyle Paz who will lead into the first corner. Indeed, outside of him, Ahmed Fazli Shams come in as well, and Pirapong. As you suggested, it's very congested, Steve.
It certainly is. 3 to 4 wide as they head through turn 1. Then it's a bit of a flick of direction there, but I bet you that the group is not going to stretch out too much at this point. Just everyone finding their feet at the moment. Massive bunch of riders there as they head down and up into turn 3 at the moment.
570, Aldi Satya Mahendra is the man who was leading, but you daren't look away, because as soon as you say somebody's leading, he will be taken away. Pirapong Lubenpang it was who took that. It's a very undulating track. I hadn't been here for a while, and commentating on here, you forget about the depths that you can go. As you can see, they're coming up the hill. That causes 1 or 2 issues in terms of balance and position on the track.
It certainly does. I mean, it's a whole different thing watching it on TV than it is being here and actually being out on track. It's really is undulated. There's a lot of blind corners, although most of these guys have probably been here before. The wild cards as well that we need to look out for out there on track as well, that will be aiming for one-time glory here at Sepang. There'll be a few of those. And as we start to get into things now, it's a massive bunch up front with McKinley, Kyle Paz in that group. Akid Aziz is there. And as you said, the young 13-year-old Aldi Satya Mahendra, he hasn't got a lot of race experience, but I'll tell you what, he's mixing it with the best out there at the moment.
Further down, we're looking at Richard Taroa there, 33 riders packing in. We're approaching corners 12 and 13 before one long straight, and then they'll turn into the home straight for the first of 5 times. It is Akid Aziz who leads the way in the purple livery. Behind him, Ahmed Fazli Sham in the green. There is that long straight, and you can almost think that you're close to home, but you're not. You've got an awful lot of riding to do from this corner.
You certainly do. It's a long couple of straights from that point. The only good factor is that the finish line is very close to the exit of the hairpin that we're about to head into. So that is why this corner right here is so important, and a lot of these guys throughout practice will have been concentrating on getting the bike good in the braking area into there and shooting out of there to get over that finish line. You can see how close it is. It's about there somewhere, the finish line.
McKinley Kyle Paz will lead, going over ahead of Fazli Sham. Akida Fendi Rosley is amongst those who've made it into that little group. We are 20% of the way through the race, and also making a move is Fendi Rosley in the vivid orange livery as Ahmed Fazli Sham goes outside of him onto lap number 2. And there's this little group of 8 or 9 who've pulled away, just 1 second separating 1 through 7, 1.27 separating 1 through 8.
Yeah, Ahmed Fazli Sham, I'll tell you what, keep an eye on him. He's certainly got some good pace on board at the moment. And Akid Aziz as well, in qualifying on his own. If anybody can break the group, you can see him there leading at the moment with Fendi Rosley just nipping up the inside, and Fendi Rosley being put back now too. Akid Aziz is probably the only guy that if anybody has a chance of breaking away from the group, it's going to be him. But I'll tell you what, it's been a long time since I've seen a 150 underbone break away from the group.
Absolutely. They've had a chance to practice on here. The official competition practice took place here at Sepang. They've had 3 practice sessions before today as well. So all the riders should have a good idea of the best location to be on the track. At the moment, it's McKinley Kyle Paz, who had a really good qualification, who's leading the way.
Yeah, Effendi Rosley still up in that group too. Another newbie, Fernando Masato. Of course, he's in 6th position at the moment, so good to see them. Wawanwelo's in 7th as well. It's a name that we've talked about last year. I think Wawanwelo was a bit of a fill-in rider last year, and so good to see him. I'm pretty sure he's here for the whole year this year.
I think so. Hazik Fairuz has made a good start. Started 31 on the grid. He's got himself up into P12. Still 3.5 seconds down on this leading group, but if you can make up, 16 places in one lap, it's maybe not beyond the realms of possibility that Hazik Fairuz might be able to get into this first group of 8 or 9.
I haven't had a chance to catch up with Wayu Triliksana, but he's not probably as fast as I thought. I thought he'd be up in this leading group at the moment, and I thought that we'd be talking about him more than we have been this weekend, but he just seems to have been struggling for some reason. But he is starting to creep up now, so let's keep our fingers crossed that he can join the group. In
this leading group, Akid Aziz, bike number 13, as our first man goes out. Bike.
That's Adib Rosley's gone out. Unfortunately, Adib Rosley, not sure if that's a mechanical failure or not, because he was on the bike there. Didn't look like he was had to pick it up or anything. So unfortunately, Adib Rosley, race over for him today.
Akid Aziz leads through 2 laps. Wawanwelo, who you mentioned, he's up there as well. He's on the yellow livery, bike number 38. Fernando Masato, McKinley Carl Paz and Ahmed Fazli Sham. Yep, this is exactly as we expect Underbone. Even though it's a big, wide track, the riders will bunch together. We're approaching halfway in this race, so expect this bunching to continue. But this group at the moment of 8 are pulling away. Admiral Arif Musa, Wayu Aji Triliksana hasn't made any movement on there. He's 1.5 seconds down on this first group. Yeah,
Wawanwelo there on the yellow number 38 machine. He actually only did a couple of races at the end of last year. Finished 13th in the championship, so he deserves to be in this front group at round 1 here at Sepang.
He did. He came in as a wild card, enjoyed it so much. He joined the 24th season of the Idemitsu Asia Road Racing Championships. I can see you looking with glee. You'd love to be out on those bikes now. Fun for you, because you rode the much bigger bikes, but this is a very, very different kind of race.
It certainly is. It's a lot of fun. I say fun, but it's for these guys, it's super, super serious. But it's all about placement. It's all about tactics. You can see there, Akid Aziz looking over his shoulder to see what's happening behind him, who's in the group, who are the danger men, because and you can just see them there just feeling each other out. To one of the Yamahas there just locking up the front a little bit, but the kid doesn't want to take the lead at the moment, but everybody is vying for position. They're thinking about their tactics. This is a much more tactical type of racing than perhaps we're going to see later on in the 1000 cc's in the ASB.
Move into the left-right corners 12 and 13 before they'll turn back into the penultimate straight, which is the one that really will sort out the men from the boys, and we do have men and boys out on the track here today. So 2 3/4 laps gone. Another look over the shoulder. Now, sometimes that can be nerves, other times that can just be saying, where is the danger? Well,
I think that the guys are just looking at the moment just to make sure, to see who's in the group, who's the danger men. Some people have a history of riding more erratically than others.
Wawanwelo just standing upright there. He lost a little bit of time, and so it'll be Fernando Masato who will lead coming through the line. Plenty of looks over the shoulder as he gets the shoulders right underneath the visor, get the wind flow as little as possible against him, but they come up a very, very slight hill, and he's swallowed up by the pack. And it will indeed be, Effendi Rosley's in there. Wawanwelo's got himself involved once again. And also joining that pack is Pirapong Luboinpang, who's managed to get himself in this front 8. And there is Pirapong, who is leading the way.
Yes, it's amazing how things can change so quickly in this race. Pirapong right up in front now. Good to see that he's there on his machine. Number 24's up there as well at the moment. Pirapong doing such a good job.
Your teenage favourite, Aldi Satcher, is still in there as well. He's on the blue livery just to the left of that little group there. Comes on the outside and right on cue moves past Effendi Rosley into second place. For a 13-year-old, what an experience it is to be racing against gnarly old veterans on a wonderful circuit like this.
Oh, it's absolutely incredible for these guys to to be able to get the experience. I mean, a lot of classes, as an example, our 600 class has got a 25 age cap. But in this class, it's great because the younger guys can get the experience of the guys that are, you know, older in their 30s and approaching 40. So they can gauge off all the different guys that have been racing around, different tactics, and talk to them and become friends with them and gain experience quickly. And that's why the Asian countries now have got so many strong riders coming out because of classes like this and the Asia Road Racing Championship.
Ultra competitive classes, 6 laps of the circuit. We are approaching halfway. Track temperatures approaching 60 degrees centigrade as they come around the back end of this course into 12 and 13. And again, it's still Akid Aziz, who was on pole, who's kept himself at the front of this leading little group. And leading from the front or coming up from behind? What's your favourite?
I'll tell you what Akid Aziz is doing right now. He's seeing how much of a lead he's got coming out of that corner, where they're overtaking him down that straight. He's doing everything for the last lap at the moment. He really is having a good look to see how much of a gap he needs to stay in front, and whatever he had just then, half a second, wasn't enough.
This is the group with Gupita Krishna, Gunmi, and Wayu Nugroho. All familiar names for those who've been following the ARRC over the previous 23 seasons, now into season 24. But we've got 3 distinct groups, and it's Wawamwelo in the yellow, who was temporarily leading and still will lead as they come into this long right-hand corner. We have got 2 laps to go, and everyone's had a good look at each other, where the danger is, where they need to be best placed.
They've all been well behaved at the moment too, and they normally are up until the last lap. Everyone's been just taking it nice and easy, testing things out, just trying to stay in that main group. Looks like Effendi Rosley, Adib Rosley in the back of the group. They're just falling off a little bit, but he's soon caught that up as the number 36.
Ahmed Fazli Sham in the green livery. He's kept himself towards the back of the group. I was just alluding to it. There are different tactics. Akid has led from the front. Aldi Sachi has gone with him. Ahmed Fazli has kind of just made sure he's stuck onto the tail of that first 8.
Yeah, for me, the danger man, or the danger boy, is the number 570. Keep an eye on Aldi Sataya Mahendra, because he's 13, he's so close to victory here, he's new to the championship, he's really going to want to strike and strike hard. So I think that he's definitely the one that I'm going to keep my eye on. But also Akid Aziz once again has had another look back to see how much of a gap he's got there. So I think he's got a little bit up the sleeve as well.
Race lap times, we've got a couple inside 2:34, which is pretty useful when you're in competition and you're constantly moving around the circuit. The top pole time was 2:33.216 by that man Akid Aziz, who has got himself a 10 bike length lead, which will, I suspect, soon evaporate, or maybe not. Has he made a run for home?
This is his plan, I reckon. I think his plan was to slow the group down, then get a bit of a gap if he can. See, look, he's looking now to see how big that gap is. He's done it every single lap, and now he's going to judge whether they're going to be able to get past him by that final corner. And at the moment, this is the best job he's ever had. I'm sure that he's not doing it for this lap, but he's definitely doing it for the last lap when we get into that. So Akid Aziz has just seen the gap that he needs to make now, coming out of turn 14. So keep an eye on him now. He won't do too much in the first part of the lap. You can see him there looking behind. He's not too bothered that they've caught him up here. But in the last half of this lap, from say turn 10 through to turn 13, he's going to be going as fast as he can.
It's Aldi Sacha Mahendra, the teenager, who will lead under pressure from Philippines Makanli Kyle Paz. There is Akid just having a look on the inside. Wawamwelo in the yellow livery makes it 4. We are in the final lap, and you pointed out beautifully, we need to keep an eye on the purple livery of Akid Aziz to see how he makes this race go from a turn 7 to 13. That could decide his fate.
Absolutely, but I also luckily said that Aldi Sahaya Mahendra would be doing okay, and he's leading the race at the moment. But Akid Aziz is back out front, but no, a whole gaggle of riders have gone through. Effendi Rosley's up there now as well.
And Wawamwelo in the yellow, who takes the lead. Where are we on the circuit? Well, we're approaching the long left-hander, 5, corner 5, 6, and then it begins to get interesting on the tactics into corner 6, which is a right, and then we'll go on to corner 7.
Well, Wawanwela certainly knows how to win. He won in Thailand. Oh, we've got a faller. Can't see what the number on that bike at the moment.
There hasn't been too much contact throughout this group, as once again Akid has a long look over his shoulder. So does Wawanwela. Akid, by your reckoning, needs to have a long lead by the time they come into corner number 14. Instead, he's second as they go up the hill on corner 10. They turn on the right-hander.
Yeah, he's. I think everybody's just been giving him a sense of what could have been, because it's certainly not working out to plan for him at the moment. He's still looking over his shoulder, though. How much does he look over his shoulder? They're all there. You've got 33 or 32 guys behind you. I wouldn't slow down just yet.
Wawanwela leads the Indonesian with Malaysia's Akid Aziz on home soil. Has a look. He hasn't got the lead he wanted coming into this final or penultimate straight. Instead, he had maybe a 10 bike length lead going in last time. This time he doesn't. He's in the chasing pack.
Absolutely. So it's all going to come down to the slipstream now as they head down that long back straight. You can see the guys swerving around all over the place now as they head in. It's going to be a massive braking duel into that final turn. They're spreading out. They're tipping in. Up the inside goes Wawanwela, but he's well back.
Effendi Rosley was in there, and there's collision as Ahmed Fazli Sham is brought down, and McKinley Kyle Paz can motor through, and it will be McKinley Kyle Paz from the Philippines who takes the race in this first race of the season. You called it spot on. The mayhem coming into the final corner. It was Ahmed Fazli Sham who was the main man who suffered. Effendi Rosley second, Akid Aziz in third.
Yeah, what a great race that was, and we didn't have as much carnage as I had, but look how happy the team is. What a great result for McKinley Kyle Paz. He qualified second on the UMA Racing Yamaha Philippine team, and what a result for the team.
A teenager, 18 years of age, 16th overall in the Underbone 150cc last year. What a way to start off 2019 season. And he bided his time. Akid did get a place in the top 3, but we were so focused on him, we forgot to really keep an eye on McKinley Kyle Paz. And your favourite, Aldi Satya, actually slipped away down into 7th, Steve.
Yeah, he did, but he's only 13. He's got a long time to go, hasn't he? So big future ahead of him, and he's got his first race under his belt now, which is great to see. But that was a great finish of that race, and McKinley Kyle Paz, he's smiling in the picture on the screen. I bet you he's smiling under his helmet right now. 6
laps of the long Sepang circuit. It's 56 degrees now there. It's cooled down just a little bit, but on the track in that last corner, it certainly was not cool. Hopefully we'll be able to get a replay of that. Well, we will get a highlights replay of that. But it always comes down to the final corner when it's a hairpin with so many riders close together. Mayhem guaranteed. Absolutely, and we saw a classic finish here. So a great finish. Also in the Yamaha Honda battle we have. It's great to see also Yamaha have won this time out, and Honda will be certainly searching deep to give it everything they can for the race that we have tomorrow. Effendi Rosley pretty happy with his performance there. 2nd place. Again, he was one of those who just hung to the back of that group of 8 who were there or thereabouts, and it worked for him. It didn't work for Ahmed Fazli Sham because he got caught up in the traffic. Yeah, he certainly did. Great ride, as you say, by Effendi Rosley. Had to work for it. But boy, what a celebration for him. I mean, look at him. He's just coming around, big waves. Another great result for him and his team, the Team One for All, the TKR team. So really good way to start the year off for Effendi Rosley. They're still debating over 4th and 5th. Here's the result as it stands at the checkered flag, and it'll be McKinley Kyle Paz who has the victory on the famous Sepang circuit. It's a long cool-down lap here too. There's everything about this circuit is big. It really is. There's the field as they come through. Heading back in. Ahmed Fazli Sham. What might have been for him. He was well placed coming into the final corner. And in the end, Ahmed Fazli Sham, I need to look a long way down the list, and I'm still looking. I can't see him. Where is he? He could have been one of those fallers that we saw on the last. He was, but I thought he got up again, Steve, so maybe not. Okay, let's have the official result. race 1. McKinley Carl Paz on UMA Racing Yamaha. He wins ahead of Effendi Rosley and Akid Aziz. Piripong Lubainpang and Masato coming in 4th and 5th. Wawan Wello, who was in the lead for a long time, in 6th. The teenager Aldi Satya 7th. Hazik Feru started 32nd, came 8th in the end. Amrul Arif Musa Gun Mi on the SCK Honda Racing team. Morobil, Richie Tarore, Wayu Nagroho in 13th, Faiz Zekri and Ayman Azman, all Malaysia 14-15, completing the points. Outside of the points, Gupita Krishna, a former champion, Izzat Sadi. Ahmed Fazli Sham actually came in 18th place, where at one stage he might have had a podium in his sights. Agung Fakrul, Fitri Ashraf, Razaiman. Can Lok, we didn't really speak much about the Vietnamese on the Honda winner 150. 22nd for him, Harith Farhan, Afiq Ashraf. Gosh, it's a long field just to talk through it. These are the finishers. There were 4 non-finishers. Azrael Effendi, Wayu Ajitrilaksana, who was the man who we saw fall off. Travis Hall on the SCK Honda Racing team, and Fariz Aziz not finishing. Neither did Adib Rosley nor Hafiza Rofa. Wow. Great start. Long circuit, a very different kind of test for the riders. Let's go and see if we can catch up with those on the park for me. Hui Ling is our intrepid reporter in the heat.
All right, thank you, Des and Steve. The first race of the 2019 season, and Aki, you managed to start from pole and finishing in 3rd. It was obviously a very close fight all the way to the finish line. Share with us, how was the situation out there today?
Okay, pertama sekali syukur Alhamdulillah permulaan 2019 yang baik. Terima kasih kepada tim saya, UMA Racing. Lepas tu saya punya family dan supporter saya. Perlombaan yang kali ini memang awal musim yang bagi saya memang sangat sengit untuk terlepas dan putus grup.
All right, thank you so much, Akid. And coming in 2nd place today, also another Malaysian rider, Muhammad Effendi Rosli. So Effendi, congratulations, starting the 2019 season with a 2nd place podium. You look very joyful, of course.
Thank you very much. I'm really very happy. Also, my team happy. Can I talk in Malay because this is my hometown, Malaysia? Okay. Okay. Firstly, syukur Alhamdulillah di mana dengan perlumbaan pembuka tirai ini saya dapat menamatkan perlumbaan di tempat yang kedua dan sangat saya tak menjangkakan di mana bila saya lihat peserta yang seramai 35 orang untuk merebut kedudukan podium yang sangat sukar, tapi saya cuba sedaya upaya hasil berkat doa daripada kawan-kawan, keluarga dan juga tim membantu saya, memberikan saya semangat. Enjoy the race, don't thinking about podium. So saya menggunakan experience dan pengalaman saya pada perlumbaan tadi, di mana kalau tak silap saya lebih 7 pelumba berebut di selekor terakhir. Saya keep and save terus menuju ke garisan penamat. Syukur Alhamdulillah.
All right, thank you so much, Effendi. Congratulations. And our very first winner of the 2019 season for the Underbone class, McKinley Carl Paz. First time racing here in the full track in Sepang with your new team, UMA Racing Yamaha Philippines, winning the first win for Philippines.
Yes, I'm very happy because this is my first time to win champion in ARRC, and this race was very tough for me because all the riders was very competitive. But I do all my best to win. Then I would like to thank to my sponsor, to my team, UMA Racing Yamaha Philippine team, for working hard this weekend. And thanks to all Filipino fans.
Okay, and do you want to say something in Tagalog before we take you to the podium?
Yun, sa mga nanonood sa akin dyan sa Pilipinas, napakasaya po dahil talagang yung pinaghirapan namin buong linggo, may maganda resulta. Suportahan nyo po ulit ako bukas sa race 2. Ayun, nakakamit din natin ang kampiyon dito sa ARRC. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you so much, Carl, and we'll see all 3 riders on the podium shortly.
We will indeed. Thank you, Hui Ling. Congratulations, McKinley Carl Paz, the teenager getting a victory for the brand new UMA Racing Yamaha Philippine team. That makes the sponsors happy.
It certainly does. And I mean, what a nice chap he is too. He's you know, standing there, just enjoying the race. You know, great words. Good to hear him. Good for the team. You know, the new team coming in as well. Dream start, really.
Let's have a look at how he did it. It started with Akid Aziz on pole. There is McKinley Kyle Paz, fighting talk right from the very start on the podium. We had a top 5 with Masato and Ahmed Fazli Sham. It's a long 6 laps of the Sepang circuit, and immediately from the very first corner, riders are looking over their shoulders. Explain that one to me, Steve Martin.
Well, absolutely. Everybody in this class knows that it's impossible to make a break due to the speed and the slipstreaming of these machines. What they needed to do was work as a team, and the front group did that. They managed to make a bit of a gap, and it was down to about 7 or 8 bikes, and that's a manageable group. But if you've got 30 bikes in a group, it's going to be a really hard race. So that group worked together. We had, of course, a faller. That was the number 18 machine of Adib Rosley. He went out early on, not the start to the year that he wanted.
Now, in commentary, we got rather distracted by the tactics or the thinking of number 13, Akid Aziz. You had an eye on him, and you were saying he was trying to get himself in a position where he had a long lead coming into the penultimate long straight. But he seemed to give that tactic away because he tried it time and time again.
Just because you've got a tactic doesn't mean it's going to work. Wabanwelo had a bit of a moment there too, just nearly lost the back. But yeah, his tactic was to make a lead at the front. But then maybe the others were also not showing them what they had, and that was the case when we get into the last lap in a minute.
Wabanwelo, as we come with 1.5 laps to go, Akid Aziz by this stage is unable to pull away really in the way that he would like to have done, and the group behind him was 6 strong. This is maybe where he did get that lead, and this is where he thought that's the 10 bike length. Looks over the shoulder, and we thought, I was with you, we thought that that's what he's going to try and do onto the last lap.
Yeah, absolutely. But as you head into the last lap of any one of these races, we didn't quite find out who that rider was that went down. But when that happens, oh, there we go, just lost the rear end. And a little bit of a tumble there at the end, but plenty of runoff at this Sepang circuit.
And then into the final stages, onto the final couple of corners. You go up the hill, a couple of riders forced to stop still. Penultimate, this is the final corner. Ahmed Fazli Sham just couldn't get out of the way. He would finish 18th. McKinley Kyle Paz was the man who took advantage of the mayhem to take a debut win for him for his new team. Happy enough? Really good stuff. We can go, I think, to the podium in just a while, but just while we wait for the podium, quick thoughts, Steve Martin. New club, new team, new rider, new opportunity, new track.
We'll begin
It's
the
a
podium
perfect
ceremony for the Underbow 150cc Race 1 here at Asia Road Racing Championship Round 1. Coming in 3rd place today from Umar Racing Yamaha Maju Moto Asia team, Muhammad Akid Aziz. In 2nd place today from Team One for All, Muhammad Afendi Rosley. And today's Race 1 winner from Umar Racing Yamaha Philippine team, McKinley Kyle Paz. We'd also like to invite the team manager of Umar Racing Yamaha Philippine team to join the riders on the podium. We'll now stand for the national anthem of the Philippines.
First time the Philippines national anthem being played for the
We would
season.
now like to invite Mr. B.S. Sujiv Kumar, Vice President of FIM Asia, to present the riders with their trophy. Coming in third place from Malaysia, Muhammad Akid Aziz.
Sujit Kumar, the VP of FIM Asia, handing out the prizes.
In second place from Malaysia, Muhammad Afendi Rosli.
Malaysia 3 and 2, but a very proud Philippines top of the podium.
And today's 150cc race 1 winner from the Philippines, McKinley Calpaz. And the best team award today goes to UMA Racing Yamaha Philippines team.
And there is the photo that I'm sure will adorn several Filipino newspapers tomorrow, and certainly websites galore. You can go on to AsiaRoadRacing.com for all the updates, and of course you can follow us on Facebook as well. There it is, McKinley Calpaz with the victory on the Yamaha Sniper 150. Akid Aziz and Afendi Rosli for Malaysia. This is the first race of 14 in the Underbone 150cc.